My name is Jan Chosen-Bays, and I'm a pediatrician, and I'm also a Zen teacher here at Great Vow Zen Monastery. Well, Mushin is a very unusual person because she's been practicing almost her entire life. She told me that she began practicing when she had asthma, when she was young. And it was difficult for her to breathe, and so she had to pay very careful attention to each breath. I'm going to wait till this bell goes by. This is the wake-up bell. And then when she became an adult, she was living in Hawaii, and she began practicing Zen with a wonderful teacher, Aiken Roshi, in Hawaii. And then when she moved to Seattle, she looked for a teacher and found Genki Takabashi Roshi and a few other teachers while she was living in Seattle. And then she moved to Corvallis, Oregon, and looked for a Sangha, a group to practice with, and a teacher, and she found our group, Zen Community of Oregon. So wherever she goes, Mushin finds a group to practice with and teachers to study under, and then practices very diligently. So she's an unusual example of a lay person who practices almost like an ordained person. The practice is central to her life. No matter whether she's raising children or working as a therapist, it's the underpinning of her life. And that's something that I have to support and honor because it means that the Dharma becomes accessible in another form, in another voice, and through another person's experience, and somebody who can tell different stories to encourage other people to practice.
Abby and I met each other, probably 20 years ago when I was first in the ministry here and also teaching in the Department of, now philosophy at Oregon State University doing comparative religion. And Abby was in the process of studying and getting ready to do her ordination vows. And we just had interesting things in common and things to talk about, so that's when we started our connection. I learned about this proposal when I came back to Corvallis just this last year in September of 2013. And I was really excited to hear about it, to know that the Zen Circle here had grown and had this kind of stability and this kind of commitment to this place, because I know there are a lot of people in the community for whom this is their religious center, the Zen Circle. So I was really excited to hear about it. Right, no, have only heard. In fact, there between the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship and the Buddhist Circle, a variety of different Buddhist circles, we have a lot of people in common. Many people do both, are part of both communities, need the support of both for their own personal practice. So, it feels like something that we're connected in some ways.
We formally launched the fundraising and made a public announcement about our intention to establish a Dharma Center in April of 2013. So that's been a year. And this first year we met our goals. We met our goals of involving the membership of Corvallis Zen Circle in making financial contribution. 45% of what we have brought in has been from the membership itself. 55% of what we've brought in is from the broader community. Family, friends, and friends of the Dharma who really understand the supreme value of introducing a place of practice in the Mid-Valley.
I'm Julie Manning. I'm the mayor of the city of Corvallis.
And did you know Mushin prior to the meeting when you discussed her proposal with her?
And that's Abby?
Yes.
Yes.
Mushin is her,
yes.
her Zen name.
Yes. So I've worked for Samaritan Health Services for many years, as has she, and so we knew each other prior to to our involvement with this particular effort.
And what was your initial response when you met Abby about her proposal to establish a Buddhist Dharma center in the Corvallis community?
I was invited to participate in a visioning session, sort of a community-wide opportunity to talk about this concept. My position as mayor, this isn't about local government. It really is about a community effort in terms of what we can all do to facilitate and foster a welcoming, inclusive community where people of all faiths and all beliefs can live together harmoniously. And so I really wanted to be there as a show of support for the kind of community that I believe that we have in Corvallis, and certainly one that I would also hope to emulate.
So we're interacting with potential donors, bringing the message to them about what it is we're trying to create, sitting down with people one-on-one, having those types of conversations, as well as just identifying different potential donors and sources of donors. So that's one aspect. And then another role that I hold in the project is part of the tech team, which is a lot of fun for me. And so that's around the website and making sure we have all of our tools in place to be able to receive donations, to be able to provide communications, to be able to provide a portal for people to come in and explore what we're doing, not only for the project, but for the center as well. Yeah.
So it took quite a while and an extensive search to find the property that is now Great Vow Zen Monastery, which is perfect. And we all of us who've been involved in the whole process reflect on how many moments of disappointment and discouragement we experienced on the way, and doubt that this was going to come to fruition. But what we did, what the practice was the entire time, is to attend fully to our practice, that the search for a spot where we can really settle and develop accommodation for many, many people practicing, and their vow, which is to train ordained followers, that was the practice, was just what was at hand and the conditions that we were meeting. And so that really inspires me in our project here to develop a center, knowing that what we end up with finally is absolutely perfect, and everything that comes on the way to that is perfect as well. So one thing that I can look at is how much our Sangha has developed and our practice has deepened and broadened as a result of working with all of the challenges that come with trying to find a center. And it hasn't happened yet. You know, we don't quite have our center, but I have confidence from the way that Chosen and Hogan held steady, held the vision, held the vow, and greeted every circumstance of bringing that vow to fruition. And that inspires me continually. And so even when Sangha members are getting discouraged, I can say, we just keep going. This is it. This is the practice. This is the temple. This is the temple where we practice. These are the conditions of our practice, of our life. There's no separation. And being so fixed on a goal is, until it's, walls and floor around us, is fantasy. And the practice is exactly what we're working with at this moment. So I am very inspired all the time by Chosen's way of being thoroughly present and feeling as though anything is missing at any moment.
Then there's sort of a more basic outreach that I look forward to us doing, which would get us engaged in areas that the community needs help, whether it's working with disadvantaged groups or providing help with some of the homeless community or in soup kitchens, just lending a hand where a community needs help. I think it gives us a foundation to do that work from. I started about 4 or 5 years ago. I realized I would sort of become increasingly numb to life in general. I was going through the motions but didn't feel like I was actually really there. And at some point I started doing reading on my own, and ultimately got connected with a Zen group through a quick Google search, and then I've been practicing with the local Sangha, like I say, for about probably 4 or 5 years now.
And I know that the benefit of it isn't just about Zen, it isn't just about Buddhism. And so I think that's what's really going to carry us through. And so the more that people ask questions about the project, want to understand it, learn more about what it's about, where we're headed, I really welcome that. And, I think the more of those types of questions we get, the more people will see the benefit that we're trying to